Yeah, this is a challenge to entertain people after lunch.
Perhaps we can do something before. Off stage. When you are full, most of the time your mind doesn't operate like in the morning. So we're gonna just do the simplest thing. We count down. We just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go to 9, like this, 8 down. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 1. Hey!
Yeah, we love to entertain you. Yes, this is.
Okay, my name is Johanna. I'm from South Africa. Perhaps everyone already know. What I can say about Johanna, she's a testimony of the inspiration. That's how I introduce myself usually. I'm a edu entertainer. I'm a peer leader educator. I'm a curator. I'm a choreographer. I'm a singer. I'm an artist. Let me say I'm an artist in generally. I'm a script writer. This is what I do best. So, 38.
I'm not an artist. I'm an educational hybrid. I'm a teacher. I try to push my ministry in Lower Saxony. I try to lead an organization called Peer Leader International, and I'm doing some politics. So, but I'm not an artist. So together we are going to rock this show here, and I try to change the name from whole school approach, which is not the Loch whole, okay, it's with a W, to a new school approach. Because as far as I learned in this meeting, I think we need a new school. Therefore, sorry for changing the title. Yeah, I adopted the title of Timo says it's not my right to adopt the title Learn2Change, but we're coming to that later. It's education for change, and it's not education for crossword, filling in crossword stuff like that. Okay, what are we trying to do in 20 minutes is to show you our image of schools in South Africa and in Germany. We don't mean you, the guy from Bad Homburg. This is a brilliant school, for example. But we mean the others. We have 21,000 schools in Germany, and I think we mean the others. Okay, then we try to give you some ideas how our meetings were and how these meetings were challenges. The challenges follow of school and school to work with schools, and our first ideas of solutions. And maybe then at the end, a kind of book for recipes, ideas which you can transport for the next round of discussion. Okay, schools. Johanna, your schools?
Okay, when we talk about school in South Africa, we are talking about schools which accommodate around about 50 to 60 children in one class. You can imagine that how overcrowded they can be, and the teachers are standing there in front of everyone, just give, and the children has to just take and just to write an exam. They learn for writing exams. For me, that's what I've recognized to the school. It's like you are working so hard to go to the next level, not to know, not to take all the information. It's difference between information and the skills. So the schools, they just give. The children has to claim and put it in their mind. So basically, these are the issues that I recognize when I'm working in schools. And the other thing that I've recognized is that the children are not given an opportunity to interact. They are most of the time they are sitting and listening. So these are the other challenges. Education for me, it might be like the same in Germany when we do the exchange. It might be we have different infrastructures, like different challenges in terms of like perhaps the buildings, they are not as best as the buildings for here in Germany, but we have the same problems, same challenges, like how do the teaching system work? It's like it's not relevant to the philosophy of life. It's like what they have learned most of the time is something that they can use for getting a job, but not use to manage to deal with the issues in real life. So basically this is what I can say.
German schools, Hauptschule, Realschule, Gymnasium, Gesamtschule, integrierte Gesamtschule, kooperative Gesamtschule, Förderschule, Förderschule für Grundschule, and whatever. We have a structure which is a challenge to explain to a foreign partner. Try to do that. But additional to what you said, it's just learning for the tests. It's mostly bulimie learning. So the brain tries to free his mind for the next test and forgets about the old stuff. It's 15 different subjects. It's not about problems. It's not about questions of students. Primary school is different, and I don't talk about them, but secondary schools are like that. They have a program which is squeezed, and the gymnasium, Bad Homburg, is the most squeezed program, and there's no chance to put anything in between. It's all about trying to get a certificate, that's it. And they learn a lot, but mostly under the bench. So this is the secret learning aside. And it's not about democracy, because we have a thin democracy. It means we have all the structures to participate, parents and students, but nobody does really. The biggest project a student does is the party for the say goodbye party for the school. Sorry, but nevertheless, they learn a lot. And the question is, what can we put into this learning? And when we additionally bring in meetings with countries of the southern world or of the European world, it happens that you have crashes, and you have damages, and you have earthquakes. And the question is, does this fit into the program, an earthquake in your mind? What does it make to you and to the students? Let's start about talking about the problems. Johanna.
Basically, the challenges that we are having when we go to school, we are doing informal education. Clearly, it's all about informal education. Like, we go to school and interact with the children, with the teachers, whatever, the way we can try to interact with them. But most of the time, the challenges that we are having, it's like we become a sort of a threat to the teachers because of the strategy that we use. And most of the time, we make sure that we understand the children more. Like we interact with them in a level that they know that it's easy to confront me with something that it's not on the topic that we are dealing with, because of how we do things with them. So they start to have a problem that we are there to disturb the school curriculum. We are there to make things different in our own way. So most of the time, those are the challenges. And then most of the time, we have two different kind of teachers that are getting it. We come across on schools. We have those who are willing to help out and say, I can try to do, but most of them, we have one teacher was saying to us, I'm too young for the school, because all of them, they are old, and they never understand my mind. They never understand why do I want to do other things beside the school curriculum. So most of the time, those are the challenges. And why we are doing the exchange program, because of we are not just doing going to school in South Africa and doing whatever that we are doing. we meet with young people from Germany. It's a North and South exchange program. When we meet with them, we have our own challenges amongst each other because we are coming from a different background, different cultures. So most of the time, the challenges that we are having an issue like, I've been raising an African child that an adult, there is a line that you don't cross when you interact with the adult. You don't just say whatever that you want to say at any time. There is a time where even if the adult is wrong, you let that person to calm down and try to talk to the person in a different way. But with our German kids, it's different. They can just answer at any time and go. So those are the challenges when we interact. We are saying it's a challenge of the language, but not in terms that I'm speaking Zulu, you are speaking German, but it's the language. How do you speak with to each other? So those are one of the challenges that we are having.
I have been asked, those children are too young. We started with 10, 11-old boys and girls to go to Brazil, not to South Africa. Then we had 13, 14-year-old boys and girls, and the South Africans said, maybe this is too dangerous to come there. But we never faced any problems of that. But we faced problems of clash of culture, different kind of educational style, different way of, chicken feed is a challenge. Different way of food, different way of housing, different way of offering your house. I'm coming from Ostfriesland, we all have our houses, but there's never space for the South Africans, or hardly space. When we go to them, the RDP houses, they mostly have space for us. Yes. So challenges like that. But this is the kind of earthquake you need to produce with these meetings. They are not too young, and the clash of culture is good. Where are the teachers? I might mention the story of my headmaster. He went with us to a meeting, and after 3 days he had a headache for 2 days, and I thought, why this? A teacher knows everything, and if he goes to South Africa or Brazil or wherever, he knows how it is there. But after 3 days he discovers that he is the one who is late and not the South African. That the things are completely different than he thought it is, and it produces headaches. So he had to learn and to understand that his role is not just to know everything, but to discover as the students. So the teachers disappeared more and more because they couldn't find a role in that. And it's a challenge for a teacher to change his role.
And in addition of when coming to the teachers, the challenge for them is that with the program that we are using, it's a two-way stream. They have to learn from the children as well. So somehow they feel intimidated to learn from the children. So it's like, it's about time that they sit on the bench and listen to the children as well. So that's another challenge. That is why they get to disappear. You look them under the chairs and you never find them.
And coming to sustainability question, what are you doing if you take in the last grade for an excursion like that? What happens to the school if the best ones, those with the biggest experience, disappear from school? So what happens then? So therefore we started with younger ones to keep this energy at school and the knowledge inside the school. Meet and greet, this is not whole school approach. It means we need sustainability, and this was a challenge for all our schools to put in a kind of line into that, so that it's not just a meeting and nice to meet you and kiss and go, but it's to continue to work on certain topics and challenges. So these are some aspects. In the past 2 days we had a lot of aspects like that. You all have your experience with this North and South exchange. But the question is, how can we solve this? And we give you some ideas how we think it is necessary. The whole school approach is not necessary to teach to a primary school, because they are living the school. They are still curious, they are still vivid, they are still active. The more they are inside the school, the more they are behaving like that, waiting something happens, even if the ring-a-ding-a-ding is finishing the story. But the whole school means the whole school. To have a kind of profile of the school where you and me, we fit in, and we are not just a visitor, but someone who is enriching the whole school. But this is a challenge. the schools we were working with, and even my own school, and I had some influence there, didn't react on. So therefore we would like to add on that, not the whole school approach, but the whole village approach.
Yes, it takes, we believe it takes to the whole village to raise a child. It might be, you might be a parent, but it's not only your responsibility to raise that particular child. Because at some point, that child needs to go out and face the world. And then when facing the world, there are things that he or she will come across and you never taught your child. It's like the religion, it's always making an impact, especially in Africa. It's making an impact most of the time. Most of the people, they are really religious. So in order to understand what is really going on about different religions, those people have to interact in children's lives. We have organizations like Golden Youth Club. We are interacting. We always talk with our peer leader from Germany. We once talked about the issue of being sexual active. It's different when coming to Germany and when coming to South Africa. With us, the parents, somehow it's a taboo to talk about something like that. That topic, they respect it. They put it out there. But the NGOs like us, we teach young people about those things. We just tell them the consequences. If you do this, the baby won't come from the sky. You will fall pregnant. You will be a teenage mama. Those are the things that we are telling them. So as part of NGO, we are important to be involved in those children's life. School as a whole, it's a formal, whether it's a formal and informal education. At some point, we all need to go to school. So the school as well need to be involved in whatever. So it's a collaboration of parent, community, children, NGOs, and whatever the stakeholders, even the government on its own. They need to play their own role. Like I'm having an NGO. There is we are calling them counselors, local counselors. Those who are in the ground rules, I don't know what do you call them here. They need to interact on our project. They need to know that we are making an impact to the community. So what is their contribution? So to raise a child, it takes the whole village.
And maybe the people now think you're completely crazy. It's even difficult to get a whole school, but it's even more difficult to get the whole village. But it is not. It makes it easy for you, because if you work with the parents, you don't have someone from the backside pushing against you and giving arguments against you. You need the whole village, you need the NGOs, you need the church community, or whoever is in the village and whoever is important. And it makes it easier for you to work, and the teacher doesn't have this main role. It's just a part of this educational process. And some people were complaining in the past 2 days about, okay, again, this on top of our school. No, this is not on top, this is the heart of the school. So give some space for this whole school and whole village approach. Invite the parents to come in, invite the whole school to participate, and then you will see you have an enrichment in a way you never thought. We had this with our Millennium Villages. We started with these meetings, called them Millennium Villages. The whole community was in the audience and listening to the presentation of the students. And the school got a completely different role when you invite the community into that. It's not just they say, okay, you're teaching this and that, but it's also something for us and from us. And this is very important. So therefore, we had very good experience inviting the whole community to work with us. And she's coming from Winterfeld, which is a difficult community, and I'm from Ostfriesland, which is a poor region inside the German community. And it's not about jokes, it's really, it's a fact. We're a poor community. But the people are open-minded to that. So it's maybe a challenge to rethink this idea of opening the school and your lessons, but it makes it easier to work with that.
Perhaps to give an example about the whole village issue. In 2006, we came for the first time in Germany. With the Kinderkatu Caravan, we were performing and we had a problem. A serious incident, one of my children drowned in the lake and passed away. But instead, we get a lot of support from the church, from the school, from everyone. It's like it was a very, very difficult times for us, but because of everyone was working together. we managed to go, even when we go home, we managed to deal with the situation. It was hard, but due to the support that everyone was putting in hand, I can give you an example. When you have a stick, one stick, when you break it like this, what is happening? It's easily breakable. But when you have 10 sticks together, when you do it like this, it's hard to break it. So it's easy when you work together in order to build something. So that's makes sense.
I think we can skip this. We need space and time, and it's a long process. So we are working together since 10 years or even 12, you said.
Yes.
And it's a long time process. We know about this, and it's not to be done in 1 year and then regard on the successes. What I want to point out is this process. Maybe some of you know about the Orientierungsrahmen, the frame of whatever, this new frame paper of Engagement Global and the German KMK. And even Bavaria and all those conservative educational ministries, they talk about acting. And therefore, for me, in North and South exchange, without transforming the learning into action, into projects, into transformation process inside our communities, it doesn't mean anything. It's not about learning in a kind of additional learning for about the world. It's also about defining good and right, and it's also defining yourself in a society where you're living in. So acting and shaping your own future, but also the future of your community, is very important for us. And therefore, when we meet, there's the question: okay, what are we going to do with that later when we come home? And it's not that we, and I did this 15 years ago, that we define what we are going to do for them, or they for us. It's the question: what are you going to do for that, about that in your own community at home? And let's exchange the results at the end. And that's a very important question for me. And during the past days, this point was a little bit weak. Education is something here in Germany which is sophisticated. It's good to know, but it's good to act. I think this is very important. I will show you some examples.
Coaching is not teaching. I think this is simple. It's like good schooling does not mean good grades. The simplest thing is that give them a platform to say their mind, the children. Give them a platform to give whatever that they have learned, whatever that they are good at. What I can say is that good schooling, it means like we don't expect good results from them. We expect them to show what they are capable of. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Maybe we give you an idea how we work, and we call ourselves also International School of Peers. We are not a school, but it's all about learning, and it's non-formal learning, but somehow we try to learn as a school. This is Ostfriesland, it's my area, absolutely no mountains. This is a challenge for climate change. No, don't laugh at this. We are the first who are underwater. And in the past 15 years, we built up a network together with others of those countries. It's South Africa, which is very important for us as a step into the African continent. It was Brazil as the first step somewhere outside of Europe. It is still Bosnia, a forgotten country in the Balkans. Nobody talks about this. It is not our country. Today we talked about Cottbus. I don't know less about Cottbus than about Joburg. So maybe we have to refresh these partnerships. We started the cooperation with Israel, but not with the government, but with young people in Israel. And this is really a big enrichment for the German history and for our kids. We cooperate with Belarus, which is an environmental organization. We have now inside a Tunisian partner, and we cooperate with all the international partners we can get, because we need this landscape, not only in the village, but the landscape of partners who day by day change our minds and change the perspective of what is necessary and what is important. And we are somewhere at home. I'm at home here with the mill. This is on the opposite side of my road. And Johanna is in the Golden Youth Club. I think it's inside your place. That's a project what we call Peer Leader International. We don't act as a school, but we cooperate with whole schools. So we do it a different way. We went outside of the school and now try to influence school from outside. And these are the same students who are inside in the morning. They go out and behave completely different and go inside the school again and say, "Hi chief, I'm the leader now of your lesson. Could you give me the space to teach my colleagues?" And it works. We work with the students and we have time and space, and the schools give us the time and space. We pick up topics, needs and questions and find answers, and we don't teach them about those subjects the government is giving us. And we bring these answers into reality and offer them to change things and to shape the future and to contribute into their community. We coach but do not teach. So these are the consequences from our side. Would you mention?
Yes, perhaps I need to explain a little bit what we are doing in South Africa with my organization. We pick up some topics, climate change, no bullying. We had a project that called Find Your Future. It means like it's a self-introspection in order to get to know who you are, to do whatever that you will do in future. It's like, example, I did electrical engineering by profession, but none of it I have done it before. Only after my electrical engineering I went to do community work. If I get to know myself before, like I get someone like me who guided me before, I could have just do community development from the onset. So what we are doing, we go to school and we teach, we give children to research about who they are, self-introspection, and after that we make sure that the children understand the different kind of courses, and we also do the mentorship program, like take a child to work, to interact in the relevant field that they want to do. And after we do in a theoretical way, I already said I'm an artist. It's like we also give them a platform to write monologues about whatever that they have learned, whether it's climate change, whether it's leadership, whether it's no bullying. We give them a chance to write something about what they have learned. Then we create a script out of their own monologues, because it's very important to use their own mind. And we create a script, then we do like a performing art. We create our own songs, we recorded our own songs, we made theater, musical theater, that it also being performed here in Germany, international. Briefly, this is what we are doing.
So it's all about training for leadership. In Germany, we don't like this word, Anführerschaft. It doesn't sound good. So therefore, we took the word P leader. So to take the lead, we have the Jugendgruppenleiter, which is something similar, education, to take the lead in your own community, and we are more influential in that than school normally is. And by the way, they are non-privileged kids. In my school, it's a Haupt- and Realschule. Mostly we are encouraging them. And also a mark about that, we should think of researching why or if these international meetings could specifically encourage those who are not used to learn about the world by books, but by experience. And this is a challenge. Maybe we should find out if specifically this way of international exchange is encouraging young people who don't have a chance at school to be a good learner, to encourage them to take a role in this society. And this is a challenge even for ENSA and the others, because most of the time a gymnasium or the high school students or the older ones are taking the chance. So this is something to think about in future. So we try to work for schools and come from outside into the schools. Sometimes we are there as leaders. Sometimes the students say, okay, you're a strange religious group. You want to learn. You have energy. What happened to you? You're not partying all the time. But on the long run, I think our groups took the lead in our community, and whenever there's something going wrong and important, we are there and do something. We run workshops and campaigns.
Basically, we do peer-to-peers. Like when we train one of our children, we expect them to go outside and train others, to be leaders to those who never got an opportunity to interact with the project directly. So if I'm doing the project of no bullying, we have the children who are also being part, who are doing the same project. in future I'm not going to facilitate those projects, those workshops. The children that do are their peers, their peer leaders are the ones that will go in and facilitate other projects so that we can interact and get more children to be involved on a project. And the other thing, it's easy when a peer talk to another peer, and it's because it's the same voice. It's the level of understanding. They understand each other. So we bring leaders into peer leaders, and then we make sure that let me say, like, it's build their self-esteem. It's like those who didn't get an opportunity to stand in front of the school and present something. You know, there's those kind of children that who never been in front of school and present something. But they manage, with the strategy that we use, they manage to go in front and present something. Automatically, we had a big event in GYC on the 18th of March. Teachers were astonished to see one child who was singing in front of 1,500 people, and they were saying, like, since she entered to the school, she never said one word, and this is her last class in the school. So those are the things those are the 10 outs of the project.
We are on the Zielgerade. Ingredients for more successful North-South cooperation with schools, because we cannot eliminate the schools. They are there. We know it, and we cannot change them. It's a process of 200 years. But we can influence from outside and push them a little bit forward to change, and they need to change. Inside the structures, we will not be successful. So we rethink the purpose of education. It's not about writing a test, it's about learning to run the future, to shape the future. And if you say this, maybe they're opening their program for different stuff. It's rethink formal education. Are we really effective teachers? Are we really successful in a way? And there are a lot of researches that we are not. 10% of our lessons are additional knowledge. 90%, what is it? And so we have space for that. Rethink the structures. There is not a single law that defines school as an additional system of 15 different subjects. Nobody writes about that. We are all open to rethink the structures and the time frame. There's not a single law telling you that you have to work in 45 minutes frames. And we have good schools in Germany and maybe also in South Africa and other countries who are doing it differently. So it's necessary. And rethink the participation question. It's not just on the paper, it should be in reality. Democracy is something to learn from the bottom, and the school is one of this. And this community orientation, we were talking about that already. And rethink the essence of international cooperation. It's about new perspectives, unchaining the minds. It's not about knowledge, about poverty and richness and whatever, good cars, bad cars. It's unchaining the minds. That's the main goal we could achieve, and we learned it in the past 2 days. And new ideas have to lead to new solutions also. So why not offering new solutions from inside the school to the community? And last not least, rethink your way to see your partner in North and South. And this is something Rahima told us today. We have to learn a lot. There's still a lot to learn. So just some ideas of the question, new school approach. And just finishing, a school should be like a good Blumenwiese. It could be also like that, squeeze into the old buildings a new one, or like that, build a new one somewhere with a big perspective to the world, or do something where children learn to fly. It's all about flying, and they want to learn that. Our kids learn to fly, and this is a picture. We were on Lesbos with 8 peers. We were on Lesbos trying to save people. This was not the goal, but we did at the end. And one of the students said, this was the best week of my life. To be there, to do something, and not just to watch it in TV. And so all these meetings are about happiness and learning, and about meeting people which have the same spirit, and even if they have a different spirit, it's all about learning to do something. And that's what we think is possible, and it's necessary. It even led us to this conference. We were part of the German delegation in the SIDE program. So there is not a single limit. So even the biggest international conferences invite you if you have students who have something to say, and they don't ask about the grades or the notes, the marks they made, they just ask if they have something to say, and we were there on the People's Summit and contributed in Rio and did it. And the same we did in Lesbos, and we are just a part of this movement in the world where young people are taking the lead, and please, school is the best place to learn about taking the lead. Johanna, last word?
My last word is like the partnership, it's all about not recognize a person about what do you have, and it's like as a northern partner, what I love with our partners, they don't take us as we are partners from the poor area that need money to do something to help us, but they recognize as partners that who are there, who have their own minds that they can contribute. We might not have something on our pocket, but just recognize and take our brain as it is. So that's what we call global education to us.
Thank you.
Ja, vielen Dank an Johanna, Mahlangu und Harald Kleem. Wir haben jetzt praktisch das Ganze zusammengezogen in praktischen Realitäten, und ihr habt da ja auch nochmal einen ganz eigenen Zugang, ein eigenes Verständnis, und das war auch nochmal ganz spannend zu hören. Ich bin sicher, es gibt jetzt noch Fragen an die beiden. Ja, aber kommt her. Johanna, you're not finished. Come. There are still questions to answer. Here and then there.
I have a question to Johanna. You just mentioned that you don't visit the schools, but you visit outside the schools and approach the students about getting them into the peer leadership program. I just want to know how do you go about it? If you could just elaborate, how do you contact students outside the school? How do you go about it?
Okay, let me say our project is well known already. So now it's easier. The children, they come to the project because they know what we are doing, what are the outcomes of the project. But the other thing, when we go to school, we do those projects in different schools. Like the whole week we are in school during the day. It's like we have two groups in GYC. Like we have out of schools, those who completed schools, undergraduates, those who are still in school, but they still give their volunteerism time. So we went to school during the school hours and do this project. And those who are at school, after they follow us from the school and come at the project after school. So that's how it happened. So we have a morning project and an afternoon project.
Like with the project, you mean that you go and you advertise about your project in the morning, in the afternoon, and then the students contact you after their school?
We don't advertise, we implement. We do those projects in schools. And then after that, they see the importance of that. I cannot just wait for them to come next week because we go to the other school the following day. We will go back to the same school on the following week. So they say, I cannot wait for another 5 or 7 days that they come to my school. Then they follow us to the project.
Okay.
So they attend the project every day, like Monday to Sunday. Let me say GYC, it's more like a family than an organization because we more look after each other personally and like even on a professional level.
Okay, thank you.
There was one more question over there.
Oh, okay. I am really impressed because I am on a theoretical basis, and whatever you say is coming from theoretical, from practical, and then I find myself in so many ways with you and everything that you're saying, like from peer learning is the best one. Like if you manage to teach a child and he can teach the other one, that's fantastic. But I have some challenges and questions. Like you, in one of your slides, you wrote like learning, judging. I have a problem with this because from the theory that I know, it's not more judging, but reflecting, critical. But when we are putting judging in the kind of encounter, then we have some trouble. So acting, reflecting, acting again, and then it's a process. But my question is, when we go to African context, and this is where I see again a challenge. In Africa, you say it's take the whole village non-formal education and informal education. They are completely different, and in Africa, in such a way that the school in Africa, the formal school, is a ghost in a village. Like people distant from the school, or those who are going to school are more privileged, are different from those who are not going to school. So the challenge here is, how do we, in this village, all those different systems, put them together? When I say different system, because a child moving from school, from home, when we think of language, he has a different situation. When he goes to school, he has another different situation. From home to school, another different situation. So to integrate all of it. But what I really like here, like from theoretical part, what you also mentioned, very fantastic, that we are going to school for they are learning for exam. And they are trained mostly in Africa, what I have realized also theoretically, they are trained for the job that they don't have access to. So another theoretical approach here, just to help you for me to answer my question concerning the whole village, but the village, the school is a ghost in the village. How we deal with that? There is a saying, I can't remember the name. He said, now, principally applicable to Africa, we move from knowledge, from wisdom to knowledge, from knowledge to information, and we are giving partial information that we created incomplete human beings. So from this part, how do we integrate the school, which is a ghost in the village, to have a global village for the learning? Is it understandable?
Yeah, kind of. I'll try to answer you. It's like your question is based on how do we interact the ghost school. This is what we are saying. Like how to interact from like the school to the community to whatever, like to make it a village. Obviously, when the child wake up in the morning, he starts from home to the school, and at home it's the responsibility of the parents to look after the child and to go to the school. And where is the school take over as taking the responsibility? Then the school approach they are having their own way of how to deal with things or how to give the information. Here comes the peer leader project. We go from the school. We understand the children from at home. Then we go to the school. And then the school doesn't understand the children. How do they interact? We are becoming the middlemen. I don't know you understand what I'm saying. We are becoming the connection between the school and the parent. What we are saying, we are looking forward that the parent should also interact with the school so that they can build. There must be an understanding between the school, the children, and the parents. The child, when he goes to school, children like who are participating to peer leader project, after school, then they go to it's a cycle of going to the community project. That's another person that was connected as well. So we are saying, like those people, as a middle people as well, they need to cooperate and make one, like to interact to all of them. I don't know if am I answering your question or you still. Let me give you an example what we are doing. We had a project that we call Gem Food. Usually, I don't know if people knows about June 16 in South Africa, Hector Peterson, they were shot because of young people were fighting for Africans. So, as GYC, we started to change the mentality of using the day because now it's changed to be a party day. They forgot about the history because now the challenges are different from the first one. So what we are doing, we know that the parent might say, most of them, when the children go to GYC, they don't care what they are doing. They don't know what their children they are doing. They are out of the way. It's fine. Somebody take responsibility out of them. So on the June 16, we make a program that called Jam Food, where we buy ingredients of food, buy different ingredients, make recipe, and put them some tables in a main hall. Invite the parent, invite some school teachers, eventually even they don't come, most of them, but we invite them to come to the main hall. Then we put some stuff, we put tables, different tables, and then we make some spoons, we wrote numbers. When you get, we have spoons for parents, spoons for children. Then we give you, you select, when your number is table number 1, you go to table number 1. When you table number 2, you go like that. Then you are forced to talk to each other. You are forced to interact, to cook whatever that is in the receipt there. That makes, we make them to get time together, to interact. Whether they like it or not, somehow they will interact. If there is a lot of salt, someone will say, I think this is too much. They said 1 meter, 1 kilometer, something like that. So they interact. So we give them a platform to talk, to interact to each other. So it is still a long way, but there is a way to make things to happen. There is a way to make everyone to collaborate and interact. I hope you answered.
There was two questions here. Rahim and
Yes.
Claudia.
I want to ask you, what about in the past time, 70s, 80s, 90s, students in South Africa established strong structures dealing around political engagement. My question is there still a culture of protest from students? Are those structures still in place? And if yes, are you interacting with them in the way of using their skills, using their experience? Because I remember that I'm older than I might look. I'm 50. Wow. I'm 50. And I remember how we were inspired by students from Soweto, from Pretoria in that time. And I'm wondering if you still capitalize on these competencies. One question. The second, I wanted to tell to you, criticize, sorry. I'm wondering about your picture on students today, because for me it sounds a bit, let's say, I won't say negative, but too critical, because, or let's say too mono perspective, because I see many students or student organizations in Germany active in fighting for refugees, thematics or projects or sustainable goals. You see, I think we should really take care how that we tell the whole story. I would say. I know you're on the ground, you're practicing, but we should not forget also to tell the bright side of the story. This is all.
Okay, answering your question, I would just say it's like the struggle never stops. It's just change.
Okay.
The struggle is never stopped. We might have different challenges from 1976 fighting for apartheid, but we still struggle to some other things. I don't know if you saw it apparently last year. Around October was the international conference. Around October, there was the students were fighting like there is a feast must fall. I don't know if you heard, like they were fighting for the feast because in university it's very expensive to go to university in South Africa. So they were fighting for feast must fall. And then during that particular time, we had an international conference with the peer leaders. They came to South Africa for the change. They were in South Africa. Our main theme on the topic for the conference was youth in politics, because most of young people, they think politics is none of their business. It's untouchable topic. It has nothing to do with them. While politics, they are affecting us daily in our entire life. Whatever the decision it takes up there, at some point it goes back to the grassroots. It's affecting us. If I'm voting for the local government or someone is voted, even though when I can say, like, I don't want to vote because their service, they are not delivering, the local government does not deliver their service. But the fact that my voice was not there. So we teach young people, we interact, we try by somehow to interact in terms of politics in our own way, not like all the time being involved because we prioritize other things first. So, but we interact, how can you be a leader who does not know what is happening around you? what are you going to say to people? You don't know even what is going on around. Yesterday I wrote something like, I don't know if you know exactly what is happening in South Africa now about our president. There's a lot of issues. Somebody wrote it, something very interesting, said to replace Jacob Zuma with Malema, it's like stopping a running stomach with the castor oil. I don't know if it's clear enough. It's like it's trying to solve a problem with a problem. So those are the things. It's a young person who wrote that message, so it was very interesting for me. Those are the other things that we teach our young people to say, there is a part that you can do. You don't need to be loud and say, I do this, but there is a way that you can participate in those programs.
Okay, John, there's one more question.
Harald, you to answer?
Short,
Yes.
short answer. It sounds negative, but I mean, the students are not like that. They play a role. They play a role, and the same students in the morning playing the role like a nasty student, in the afternoon can be an active peer leader. That's what I say. It's not their character, it's just the role they are playing. And they need to have someone to push them out of this role. And check your target group you're reaching with all your seminars, who it is.
Yes.
Check your target group, and you will find out that those are not good students because of the school, but most of the time they are good because they have a good parental background. They learned their lessons somewhere outside. This is a hypothesis, but check it. I know that environmental organizations have a lot of young people, but privileged one. Who is doing the Weltwärtsjahr? Who is doing the FMJ? This is all the privileged group of young people in Germany. I talk about Germany.
Yes.
There was one more
I
question.
completely agree.
Okay, agreement at the top, and there's two more questions. Claudia, and then you.
Oh, me again?
Claudia.
I step back. We are short in time, isn't it? We are kind of short in time, so I step back.
Okay, then I step forward. And thank you very much, very inspirational. One thing I would like to, because I know some of peer leader students, I also work with them, and that's something I would advise maybe for, or give us a question for this whole conference. I thought about why didn't just, some pupils, instead of you say what they have to say, as well as I thought when I was giving my, like in a panel, practical point of view, why actually not some student instead of mine, or pupil instead of mine would give some practical exercises with us, and I think our eyes will pop out with all the things we could learn from all the pupils and students, the ones we talk about here. We talk about, again, and not involving them, and I think they're the experts. So that is advice for this
I think
conference
it's
at all.
going there.
Sorry.
It's going to Claudia. Next time they should consider it.